Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham reaction for Match Day 24. Walsall FC 3, Wrexham AFC 1. We traveled down to the Poundland Bescot and we got taken down. And it wasn't for the lack of trying and the team going out there and doing the best we can, as we always do. On a different day, things would have been different. But yes, and I want to put up there, don't panic. Don't panic. Yes, had a great year 2023. It's the last game of 2023, but I want to say, like, hey, listen, don't panic. So yeah, I usually have a rundown I'm going to go through, but I'm going to stop that because I was literally just going through X and I saw something very important that kind of takes away from football a little bit too, and we'll get to the show in a few moments. But I want to just read something I saw that come out as a tweet from Gav Monk at Gav_MONK Monk. So this is going around for something for the Barrow game coming up, and I want to just read this out. And I think it's very important to take things into perspective before we get into this match and the reaction. So it is with an incredibly heavy heart that I have to announce the very sad passing of my father-in-law, Roger Lloyd. The last game he stewarded was Wrexham versus Newport on the 23rd of December. He fell ill on Christmas Eve, and he passed away peacefully in hospital with his wife and daughters by his side. He's been the longest-serving steward at the racecourse for 48 loyal years. To celebrate the wonderful gentleman that he was, it would be very fitting if there could be a round of applause in the 48th minute of the Wrexham v Barrow game on Monday, January 1st. I thought that was very important to read out because, yes, I want to put things in perspective. I do not know Gav, nor did I know Roger Lloyd, but I would say that, this community and what they're doing at Wrexham, I think, is more important than just the football on the pitch and the reaction of a match. But I want to put it out there because we have a very large community growing, not just this channel, in Wrexham and worldwide. And if we could do that in the 48th minute, I think it'd be great. And it was retweeted by Rob McElhenney, I think Ryan as well. So hopefully this comes to happen on the 48th minute and the Barrow game that's coming up. And I think it will. This, like I said, it's such an amazing community, and seeing things come through like that in the Racecourse Ramble and Fearless and Devotion guys. I've also put it out there too. So I think, it just shows like that something can be put out there if you like, and people will follow and put it through and just give maybe the family a little bit of just recognition for him and his family for the passing. So it's unfortunate. It's very, very sad. And, it just shows you that, football is football, but life is more important than anything else. And, but I wanted to start the show off to that. And my heart goes out to the family. And so 48th minute of the Barrow game, let's see if we can get that done for them. I think they will do it. This is an amazing community as a whole and as a football club, and I think that'll happen. So on that note, that's my first. I want to start off there, but let's get into the show. It is Saturday, December 30th, and we're gonna get into it. And we lost 3-1. Fair play. We lost 3-1. On another day, it could have been different. And we went down. It was a great goal. It started out a great goal, great back heel, and Walsall had us on the back foot. And I thought there were several players on that team that played really well. And I see a lot of things going around on X and Twitter. They're like, oh, who's Googled Hutchinson and Knowles and all these guys that are on the pitch. We had some Walsall fans on the show, on the live watch along. Excuse me. That were talking about Walsall, how they played well and they kind of give it up in the last 5 minutes of the match, and they didn't. I thought they played well throughout. And yeah, Hutchinson, number 8, was fantastic. Was absolutely fantastic. Great free kick on him. Erling played well for them, and I know this is not a Walsall show, but I want to give credit where credit is due. And I'll tell you why I think things could have went different and what happened, in my opinion. But Knowles and Hutchinson and Draper, I thought Draper was great. He's 19 years old. They were, and Parkinson said this in his review as well. They were a yard ahead of us, got to some second balls before us, and I just thought that we were second best. And to fair play, 9 out of 12 points. And again, do not panic. The position we're in right now, if we had said, hey, this is where it's going to be going into 24, it's great. We are in prime position moving forward for the rest of the season. And I'll take it. I'm going to go to League Two standings right now before we talk about the rest of the show. Stockport first place had some really favorable draws over the weekend. Stockport in first with 51. Mansfield Town coming on 2 games in hand with 46 points. Wrexham 46 points as well. Our goal difference isn't that great. Barrow is in 4th place with 45 points, and Notts County in fifth with 42 points. So, we're not going to panic. We are not going to panic. There's adversity. There's absolute adversity, and fair play to everyone else around us. That we got some favorable results, and I think it's important to realize it's not a panic moment. We didn't have our best game out. I thought Moles was really good. I thought he battled really hard against that back line, but they just had a little bit more edge to them. The Poundland was up for it, and what a great traveling attendance! 2,258 Wrexham fans. I mean, 2,258 Wrexham fans in front of a total crowd of 8,709 home fans. That's great. But we did battle. We never gave up. On a different day, in my opinion, Moles' 35-yarder could have went in, hit underneath the bar and went in. The pitch was a disaster. Ball bounced in front of the goalie at one point, and hit the ground. Maybe it has another bounce, and we get a goal there. Tozer's cleared off the line. Things happen. This is football, and I just want to say credit to Walsall and also credit to our team not giving up. Going to talk about a little bit what Parkinson said. It gets into some of his quotes on that note. By the way, I'm going to go back to Walsall real quick. Number 8, Hutchinson, played really well. Maybe we think about grabbing him. Him and the February guy a couple of games ago, February guy on the right, he's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So let's talk about the Parkinson quotes. He said it's a huge disappointing to lose. It was a good game. They took the lead. We got to go back and going into the second half was a huge lift of energy for them. Both teams have been playing so many games, and they were a yard quicker for that second period. They tried to change the game, change up the shape, and he didn't play with enough care on the ball. So he thought we didn't play enough with care on the ball. And I think that was indicative to the fact, yes, we had Young come in, didn't have his best game in a Wrexham shirt, in my opinion. We do miss Gio. We do miss JJ. Gio's going to be back. That was his third game. It was a suspension. JJ will be back as well. But our midfield did get overrun in certain parts of that in that game. The energy that Hutchinson had and the other guy, sorry again, his name was Knowles, running at McLean. Although McLean figured him out a little later on. Hutchinson and Knowles were fantastic. And I think our midfield relied on going over the top and trying to get balls in the channel or going and having Dalby knock it down from Mulls. I think the midfield is, to me, our biggest weakness. Our back line looks solid. Tozer played great. If it wasn't, not that we want to give a man of the match for a losing side, but I think Mullen was our man of the match and Tozer was second, and AO kept us in the game. But Parkinson went on to say they're very disappointed. They were not at our best. And credit to Walsall. They enjoyed the victory against Swindon. That's our team, obviously. And now they're moving on to Barrow. And that's the thing. Take this, brush it off. We don't panic. We keep moving forward. And that's what it is. And we're going to go into 2024. The key moments are very important, he went on to say, Parkinson. He said, Ben clear off the line. How that didn't go in was a mystery to him. They had a great free kick. It was a great free kick. And Mold's underside of the bar then bounced out. How does that not go? Another day it goes in and things change. The third goal, they were chasing the game. He said they were very vulnerable chasing the game, and we were. We had a high line, pressing a lot forward, and leaving ourselves very exposed at the back. So they tried to wrestle the game away and change the shape, and that's what they did. They brought 3 men on and 3 men off. And the game needed to be changing, or else it was going to be a disaster. They were just a little bit better than us on the day. And I think fair play to Walsall and the credit to Parkinson for acknowledging that. Things could have went different. Balls could, like I said, Mullen's goal could have went in. It could have been different. But on the reflection of the 2023 year, Parkinson was asked about. He said at the start of the season, they were told where they would be right now at the halfway point, with Mulls being out and not not firing on all cylinders at the beginning of the year, he said they would take it. They're right in the mix. Other teams dropped points this weekend. Mainly Barrow and Stockport that they drew. So that's a big win. Like the loss is not as much as of a loss if it could have been if Stockport kept winning and Barrow won. And granted, Mansfield's up in there too, but it's not as big of a sting. So I think we move forward, and this team has so much resilience. And without resilience, we don't battle through. We don't get through the tough times. And this is not one of the tough times yet. Yes, we're going to lose matches. We're not going to win every single game. We're not Michael Jordan's Bulls for that reference, or City. City just pulled games out. Manchester City pulled games. I don't even know how they do it. So we're going to lose games, and unfortunately, we did have some other favorable draws around us, which is great. So let's talk about. So Tom O'Connor had an interview as well afterwards. Love Stash. I thought he had a great game, really steady Eddie. He said it was disappointing not to come away with anything. They caught some breaks. It's nice to say, but we look forward to Monday. He fancied Moles for his penalty, which was a pen, could have been a red card also at the same time too. The ref was really inconsistent. These are not his words, these are mine. The ref was really inconsistent. And I thought that, that could have been a red card at that time of the match as well. Going back to Tom O'Connor, he said there's lots of good teams in the league. It's never going to be easy. There are small margins. They took their chances and we didn't, meaning Wrexham, they didn't. They're very disappointed. But they could have stepped it up a gear. He admitted, Tom did admit it in his interview, and they could have. But they're moving forward. He said, we got to battle hard and keep moving. But the manager wants to make changes. He put Tom back at left back from center half, and Tom had mentioned that he's played there before and he'll play wherever the manager wants to. So as you can see in these interviews, watching them on the Wrexham site, it is disappointing. It is disappointing. But they talked about the traveling supporters as well. That came up in the meeting with there you go. That goes off again. Yeah, there we go. Come on. There, it'll come back on. Tom talked about the traveling supporters. I said to get used to a packed away, and they don't take it for granted, and they're that they just didn't get the bounces that night. So he also reflected on the year. Said it's a great year. Promotion was the highlight, obviously, and more highs and lows. And now they need to push on for 24 and try to get this the promotion for 24. It's unfortunate. It was a tough watch at times, but we never give up. I really feel that our midfield is what's lacking. The energy in the midfield that Walsall had was pretty evident. We do miss Gio and JJ for that matter too, but we do miss Gio. We need someone to step on the ball. And unfortunately, I didn't think Luke Young had his best match, nor did Dalby. Mendy looked a bit off the pace too. AO, I thought was fantastic. Had a couple really fantastic saves, keeping us in. It could have got a little ugly there. That third goal that they had, it could have. Rumor was it was offside. There's no VAR. An inconsistency with the refs and the pitch, but no excuses on that. But that's just how it is. You're going to win games and you're going to lose games. But we're not going to panic. We're going to go into Monday's game against Barrow. It's a huge game at this point. Huge game. The Barrow match, to me, is not a season defining, but it's a season setup for the rest of the season. Like if we win this match, I think we're well positioned moving forward, possibly for a promotion. Obviously, the January window is coming up. There's a lot of talk about going for two defenders, a striker, and a midfielder. I hope that goes on. This got brought up to me by Chicky Brewer. Shout out to Chicky Brewer out there. She's always on the show, and we text on the side a little bit, so it's very nice. So she wants to hear a little bit more about transfer news. I'd love to hear more about transfer news. It's tough getting information out of Wrexham, but I will do my best to get some transfer update news during January window. But on that note, I will say this is one out there. We did have a extension for Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff is going to be here. Jake Bickerstaff has extended his contract. So on the website, this comes from the Wrexham AFC website. Wrexham FC are delighted to announce that striker Jake Bickerson has committed his future to the football club, extended his contract through the end of 25-26 season. He's 22 years old. Caught the eye with his performances at the start of the season, making his first league start for the club in 2020 and scoring his first 2 EFL goals against Walsall and Swindon. Could have used his goals yesterday, actually. The striker has made 13 appearances in all comps this season with 2 goals, taking him to 6 in 26 as a in his Wrexham career. So that's fantastic. So there's a little bit of transfer news. No, it's not transfer news, but update. Bickerstaff had some quotes. He said, I'm buzzing, to be honest. I've been at the club for so long now, and I'm happy to commit my future to Wrexham. I really enjoyed the past few months. I played more, and I've scored. I've played more, and I've scored, and I'm looking forward to the future. So that's great. That's great. So Bickerstaff is committed his future to them, but to Wrexham, which is good. I think there's some guys out of contract that might not be here. There was an interview with Humphrey Kerr that said as we move forward, some of the familiar faces might not be here next year. Possibly it's going to happen, but I think we need to make some adjustments in the January window for the midfield and possibly the back line if Hayden's not going to be here and some of the other familiar faces. But unfortunately, that's part of the game. That's part of the game. So, yeah. So we move on. Monday, January 1st, is the game against Barrow. Huge game, as I mentioned earlier. There's going to be a full cop. It's going to be full, so that's great. So all 4 sides, and we're going to need everyone buzzing for that one. And I don't think, I'm sure some people will be hungover, and some people won't be. So drink responsibly, always, if you're doing that. I'll be up at 6:50 doing the match as well on our end. We'll be back up north in the regular studio. So no more Palm Desert studio, but it's been fun so far, and I appreciate everyone that's been taking the time to spend with us and the live shows and watching. And Scrum, we're over 200. We got 208 or 9 or 10 subs. So thank you very much for subscribing, and shout out to everyone that comes on the shows and all the new people. Please like, share, subscribe. The more we grow this community, the better it is for everybody. A lot of great conversations, banter, and laugh. Mike Stewart comes on, and Andrew and Wade. So I've been really fantastic. So it's been really fun to grow the community. But like I said at the beginning of this is the reaction of just don't panic. Just don't panic. We're going to lose games. It is what it is. We don't panic. We don't get too high. We don't get too low. And that's why I think what Parkinson has, what's so great for this side. We don't get too high and we don't get too low. We're going to be steady Eddie. We're going to keep going. We're going to be okay. I mean, think about it. Think about this going into this crazy period. We got 9 out of 12 points. I'm not going to say we would have beat Forest, but we should have beat Forest. So if we did that, it would have been 12 out of 15. So we're going to play Forest on the road. They're having their own troubles, but going into this period, they get 9 out of 12 points. Yes, we don't want to have to lose. We had some favorable results around us, which is great. But going into this next match on the 1st, and then going to the Shrewsbury away FA Cup match, I feel pretty good about it. So we have to bounce back. We have to get the players back in the side that we know that can affect the matches, especially in that midfield. And we need Fletcher. Unfortunately, came on, didn't really make that much of a difference. Hopefully, Palmer comes back with his injury, but we get these injuries back going into the next part of the league. We can be okay. So, okay, that is your Wrexham reaction. We did lose 3-1 to Walsall. That's unfortunate, but we did. Another day, it could have been different. So we hope to see you soon. And, on that bombshell, it's unfortunate, but we move on and we're not going to panic and we move forward. All right. Have a great Saturday.